So I think that when we are looking into the future, the question is really about what is it that we teach in schools? How is it that we teach in schools? Rather than a question of technology with technology, without technology, blended learning, because I think that that is not the main issue that is going to resolve the future of equitable education.
With the extreme hardship that the pandemic has unleashed, it's hard to think of silver linings. But as it is with all disruptions, it forces us to rethink um, life as we know it, question whether current models still serve us or whether there's a better way that we can emerge from this crisis. And, you know, reimagining education for an inclusive future. I think this is a watershed moment for all of us right now to also see whether we can do that for education too, education which has taken a huge hit in over the past 2 years, and whatever model we embrace, can we ensure that it is an inclusive model for all? Aatishi, to you first, you know, the big learnings from the pandemic over the past 2 years for education and senior education, higher education.
What the past year and a half has done has brought forward the divides that already existed. So the fault lines that already existed within our education system have just become far more apparent. I think there is inequity in our education system is something that we have all known. Almost across the country, people are looking to shift their children from government schools to private schools. Anyone who gets access to a greater cash inflow, more money coming in per month, looks to send at least their sons, whom they regard as their future primary earning member, into private schools. Over the last 6 years in Delhi, at least, this is something that we have been looking to turn around. And in terms of making education equitable and making sure that government schools have the same kind of quality education that you get in good private schools. The issue, however, is that with the pandemic, this access, in terms of access to education, which was provided by actually coming physically into schools, that question of access has really been brought forward once again. And I would say that in the last 30 years, India had been looking to address access question and had made substantial gains in that. If you were to look in the early 90s, only about 60% of the child population actually went to school, and almost 40% of children were out of school. Then for the last 3 decades, there have been a lot of efforts via the Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan, many campaigns like we have heard on FM radio throughout the country, these School Chale Hum jingles. And as a consequence, now 95% of children were actually going into school. The issues that we were looking to address was the learning outcomes of children, because we had gone past that question of access. We now assume that all children do come into school. Now you have to make sure that whether they come into government schools, private schools, budget private schools, they all have high quality education. Now with the pandemic and access to education being via technology, we are almost back by a few decades, and we are back again to the question of access. I mean, just in Delhi alone, for example, and I'll share some data, and this is Delhi, this is not the rural hinterland of the country, this is the national capital. In government schools, in standard 8, only 60% of children had smartphones in their home. In class 10, that number is 73% of children have access to smartphones. And I think so in 10, 11, that number goes up to about 80%. But on an average, if we were to see, only 68% children had access to smartphones. And this is not their personal smartphones. This is one smartphone in the family. Second, broadband access to children in lower middle class, low income communities is extremely low. So if you were to ask me, when we look into the future of education, technology is not what I would be talking about. Because I think that in terms of equitable access to technology, I think we are still very, very long way to go. What I do think in terms of looking forward to the future is that this 1.5 year gap and our compulsion to push forward and promote all children, be it in class 10, class 12, etc., is also a good opportunity for us to relook at what is it that we are teaching in our schools. And I think that is the question that we fundamentally need to look at. Because, when you look at school education, and I often ask this question when I speak on education, like, when was the last time that you or I used quadratic equations? It was probably when we were studying quadratic equations in school. Most of our life has gone by, and we can say that we are all reasonably successful professionals. We have never needed to use quadratic equations in our lives, right? Never have I needed to know what are the minerals that are found in Nigeria or even the Chota Nagpur Plateau, for example. And yet, we spent a good part of our school education, and children still spend a good part of their years in school learning all this information that is increasingly available at the click of a button. So I think that when we are looking into the future, the question is really about what is it that we teach in schools? How is it that we teach in schools? Rather than a question of technology with technology, without technology, blended learning, because I think that that is not the main issue that is going to resolve the future of equitable education.
Crystal gaze into the near future with our series Be Inspired that takes you into the world of AI, medicine, space, good governance, economy, and so much more. Subscribe to our channel now.